Some learned to love the passion from their fathers, some their mothers. Some saw the icons of yesterday on the TV screen and fell in love with the life on air. No matter the upbringing, no matter the status, one thing remains: racing. For drivers, there's only one goal: victory. Down the straights, into the corners, on the limit. One singular mistake away from an inevitable demise, a split second of complacency, and their dreams and their lives gone. For some, an opportunity to be seen on the world stage of dirt racing, to be on the same grid as the greats, and being on the list of the ones that have made it. For others, a championship, one more series, one more league, one more race to conquer. For all the nights of tuning, for all the nights of turning laps, for all the compromises these men had to make to get here, it comes down to this: their stage, Charlotte, the epitome of American racing, where the icons have paid their dues, and where the young guns have crashed down and soared to the skies. Tonight, prepare for anything, because there will be a champion crowned here in the Coliseum of Chaos. And while it is a mini-series championship, still a trophy nonetheless, and one that, in the future, will be looked at as the cornerstone, no, as the foundation of the revolution known as the Dirt Revival Tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirt Revival Tour. Tonight we crown a champion. Tonight we crown a champion. Tonight we see who exactly takes on the challenge of becoming the crown wearer, the king slayer, the best of the best. Exactly, the champions. As I have to ask, I do apologize, but I do ask that no more sound effects be played. I'm so sorry, guys. I forgot to shut that off. As we are set here for qualifying. We've got Samuel Lawson, Aaron Bowman, Brandon Jones, Mason Cassidy out on track. Samuel Lawson, who you see there, is running a 14.61. That is going to put him on provisional pole here. As we pull up the scoring tower, I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. There we go. We now have out on track as I'm not entirely sure who we have out on track. It looks like we have Tyler Bickford, who is out on track currently. Him, Daryl Bass, William Thayer, and Zach Gold. Zach Gold is going to be P11. That is going to be an 18-157 for him. And William Thayer, who we saw earlier in that 63 late model, he is going to be running a 14-576. Daryl Bass is going up there with a 14.64. Good enough for P3 for the Twisted Speed driver of that number 90 super late model. As I try to shuffle through who is out on track, it is going to be Kane Williams and Will Bennett out there right now. As we see Will Bennett cross the line, he is going to start his push lap as he comes in with an 18.76. Getting the tires ready, one can assume. As he is going to cross the line, that is a 14.677 for the 022 late model of Will Bennett. Kane Williams is going to be on the board with just a little better by about a tenth. It is going to be a 14.66. That is good enough for P5. So currently inside the top 5 is Kane Williams. As we get ready for our next group of qualifying, Robin on board with K-Dub, Kevin Walker, part of East Coast Sim Sports in that number 24 machine. Jesse Newsom on deck, going to be the next qualifier in the next qualifying group, I should say. He is going to be in the running and possibly, quite probably, the favorite for tonight's championship crowning. He is 23 points ahead of Hayden Tollison. As we pull up the championship standings, you see him on your screen there. Jesse Newsom in first with those 2 wins over Hayden Tollison's 1 win. He sits 23 points back. Colton Jordan also up there with 82 points. He's in the running. So those will be the 3 drivers we look at the most tonight. Jesse Newsom, Hayden Tollison, and Colton Jordan. Because, as stated, they are your championship leaders. Here is Jesse Newsom, who for the first 2 rounds of this series carried on a dominant performance, both at Lernerville and USA. He is going to cross the line on a push lap. That is going to be a 14.658 for Jesse Newsom. As we take a look at the proper timing tower there. We now see all the drivers' times, not just the times they did on their last lap, but it's their best lap. As we have Danny Miles, Logan Johnson, and Kenneth Davis going out to the track. We also have Dylan Domestro, who, although isn't in the championship running, he is, however, one of the top names out here in the Dirt Revival Tour so far. So can he capitalize on the final race of the season and get his face card just a little more value heading into season number 1? Logan Johnson runs a 14.79. That's good enough for P21. Dylan Domestro is going to do a little better in now P18, running a 14.74. As he is running the bottom for his second push lap. He is not going to improve, running about a tenth slower, as none of the drivers improved on their time much any, if at all. And we now have Joel Phillips, Casey Borgmeyer, Kyle Davis, and Carson Jenkins out ready to do their qualifying lap. Here comes Casey Borgmeyer in that number 10 Midwest Sim Sports machine. He's going to send it really hard here into turns 2 and 3. As across the line, it is going to be a 14.955 for Casey Borgmeyer. Carson Jenkins running a quite stellar lap with a 14.7 as one of the last qualifiers out. That is good enough for P14. And Joel Phillips not having the best of qualifying runs there. He is going to be P30. As Sean Arnold, who I believe is a new face around the Dirt Revival Tour, he is going to be running a P31 with a 15.02. As that is going to just about wrap up qualifying. We've got Jason Wilson. I'm not sure if these drivers are actually racing. However, drivers that have not put up a time so far is Justin Sick, Jason Wilson, Brandon Schatz, and last week's winner and second in the points, Hayden Tollison. Who, that's not true because he's currently P8. Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. My timing tower is lying to me. What you see is correct on your guys' screen. What you see is correct. So with that, our pole sitter for tonight's evening is William Thayer, Willie T, part of the Willie T Performance. You see it on the top right of the stream all night. The sponsors, I've thanked them so much, and we just cannot thank them enough. It will never be the proper amount of thanking for all the sponsors who put together to help with the production and prize pool of not only the Dirt Revival Tour mini-series that you've been watching here for the past month, but also the big Dirt Revival Tour Season 1 coming up on June 17th. And I know that because handed to me today was indeed the DRT Season 1 flyer. We are starting on June 17th. It is a $10 entry. The pot is currently at $650, and it's growing. That pot is based on 30 entries. So that pot can grow to the likes of maybe, just maybe, $1,000. So the sponsors are on the flyer there: Cranky Designs, Midwest Sim Sports, Willie T Performance, Coast to Coast Sim Sports, the Twitch channel of Christopher Perini, Crispy 13S, More Metalworks Welding and Fabrication, Copeland and Son Excavating out of Paducah, Kentucky, Elite Signs and Graphics out of Zanesville, Ohio. You will see their logo all night long, as well as all of these great sponsors. And they will have their phone number in the bottom right of their logo. It's hard to see right now with that flyer, but through the night when the sponsors are showing in the top right, it will be a lot easier to view. I can guarantee that. So, with that in mind, we now bring you to the start of racing here tonight in the championship round at virtual Charlotte Dirt Track. As we pull up the race info for tonight, we've got a clay oval here of almost 4/10 of a mile here at Charlotte. It looks like a conventional oval, but for these drivers, it feels more of like a D because of how it races and the predominant lines that will be taken. Who will walk home your DRT Mini Series champion? That is the key take for tonight. It's simple, it's short, it's sweet. The weather is great. The drivers are taking the grid. Let's start racing. And with that being said, that brings us to our grid for tonight's heat race number 1. P11 is going to be Sean Arnold. P10 is going to be Casey Borkmeyer with Brady Cornett starting inside his row number 5. Row number 4 is going to be Aaron Bowman and Dylan Del Mastro. Row number 3 is going to be Mason Cassidy and Nate Wimhoff. P4 is going to be Will Bennett sitting in that best of the rest spot. P3 is going to be Kane Williams representing Midwest Sim Sports. P2 is going to be Daryl Bass representing Twisted Speed. And your pole sitter for tonight's inaugural heat race, William Thayer, Mr. Willie T, also representing Midwest Sim Sports. As these drivers prepare to get started in their heat race, I need to remind you guys that top 3 are going to transfer into tonight's feature. We will have 2 consolations, like always, and the top 4, from what I'm hearing in my headpiece right now, the top 4 from those consies are going to advance. So here we go. Lights should be out on the iRacing pace truck, as the pace truck is what looks like off the track completely. As there he is, William Thayer will have the button as we go racing in Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, the championship round starts now. As William Thayer off to a fantastic start. Bunched all these drivers up and then sped off and away from the scene. As Nate Wimhoff is making moves on Kane Williams, getting into that last transfer spot currently, he sits in P3. Watch out for Dylan Del Mastro, however, as he is running that bottom line, looking to make it work. He is up 2 positions. As that is going to be the likes of Brady Cornett. They're 4 wide here at Charlotte. Coming to the line to start lap number 7, and that's going to be contact between Mason Cassidy, Dylan Del Mastro, and Brady Cornett. That is going to be Mason Cassidy's heat race done for the night. Daryl Bass looking to make a move on the 48 of Nate Wimhoff. He's going to get it done. Will it stick? They're 3 wide. Daryl Bass, Nate Wimhoff, Kane Williams, all fighting for 2 of those transfer spots. William Thayer has checked out of this heat race. He sits alone at the top, as Wimhoff getting physical with Bass. They're going to trade blows. As here comes Kane Williams. These drivers are making it 3 wide, taking the yellow, or the white, I'm so sorry. Taking the white, Kane Williams, Nate Wimhoff, Daryl Bass. It looks like it might come down to Daryl Bass with the switchback coming to the line. I believe he got it. Yes, Daryl Bass got it. No, I'm sorry. Nate Wimhoff got it by 1/1000th of a second. That was crazy. That was a crazy heat race. So just in case you guys were curious, your results for that Heat 1 race were William Thayer, Nate Wimhoff, and Daryl Bass. So those three will be transferring. As we take a look now at Heat race number 2, we'll get the grid pulled up for you. Justin Sick is in P11, Kenneth Davis in P3, representing 3D Racing. Zach Gold in P9, K-Dub in P8, Logan Johnson in 7th, representing Speed Ranch E-Setups. P6 is going to be Dees Price, with P5 being Carson Jenkins. Row number 2 is going to be Tyler Bickford and Hayden Tollison on his inside. Jesse Newsom is starting the race, P2. Him and Hayden Tollison will have to take up 2 of the 3 transfer spots here if they want to meet each other in the feature. Remember, those are your 2 championship runners right now. Colton Jordan is also there, but he's a little ways back. He is not in this heat. But Jesse Newsom and Hayden Tollison will be going to blows there, and we can't forget about your pole sitter for the heat race, Jason McManus. As we get ready to go green, as I'm chuckling at the back of Jason McManus's car there. Here we go. As we get a better view of the situation here, Hayden Tollison actually lagging back a little bit on Jason and Jesse there. As I'm sure for Hayden, none of this matters if you can't get into the feature here tonight. So I'm sure he's going to play it safe, as that is Carson Jenkins throwing a wicked slider, almost coming across the rear end of Hayden Tollison there, as Hayden Tollison and Jesse Newsom are going to go at it a little bit. Jason McManus taking a high line. That's going to cost him a little bit of time on the Big H, Hayden Tollison. As through goes Tollison in a double overtake. McManus and Newsom were on the wall going at it. Hayden Tollison just took the free real estate, and he is now in the lead. With Jesse Newsom starting to show signs of weakness, Carson Jenkins could take this transfer spot right from him, as never mind! We've got a turn! We've got contact! Jesse Newsom into the back of what I believe was our current pole sitter, Jason McManus. As Jason McManus has gone from P1 to P11. Logan Johnson also in the pit. Absolute heartbreak for the 47 machine of Jason McManus. As now we have Hayden Tollison out in front. As we get a chopper chase view of Hayden Tollison. He's making sure to work the bits of the track that haven't exactly been worked over yet. Track still fairly fresh. As Hayden Tollison is going to be your heat race winner here. Jesse Newsom coming home in P2. Pretty uncontested there. Carson Jenkins swallowing up that last transfer spot. So once again, Hayden Tollison, Jesse Newsom, Carson Jenkins, your transferees, that's not a word, out of the heat race straight into the feature. As we now have heat race number 3 coming up. Kyle Davis is going to be in that back row all by himself. Joel Phillips and Jason Wilson will make up row number 5. As row number 4 will consist of Danny Miles and Jeffrey Hyatt. Brandon Jones and James Murphy going to be on row number 3, with row number 2 being Ethan Stuckwish and Brandon Schatz. Zach Weisenfla is in P number 2 with your pole sitter, representing 5 Kings, Samuel Lawson, in that number 44, I believe. Never mind, he is in a 327, but as you guys know, the 327 around here is Hayden Tollison. His league number is 44. That's going to be confusing. As we get ready to go green. The official iRacing Pace truck should pull off in just a moment as these drivers are ready for the last heat race of their DRT mini-series career. A lot of these drivers will come to the DRT big season, the Dirt Revival Tour Super Late Model season number 1, but some won't. Some will fade into the black when it comes to DRT lore. But Samuel Lawson, if he drives like he has been, he will definitely be back, and he will be a name of heroes in the future for the DRT. Samuel Lawson getting out to a good start, but that's Zach Weisenfla with a hell of a slider on him opening lap. I shouldn't say opening lap, I'm sorry, in the second lap as we start lap number 3. Ethan Stuckwish is right there on Samuel Lawson with Zach Weisenfla right behind him. As we now have the 121 of Danny Miles. He's coming to stick his nose in. They are 3 wide, 5 wide here at Charlotte. There was almost a point of being 6 wide there on that corner. These drivers are close. As Ethan Stuckwish, you hear the sound of those super late models roar in the distance. Ethan Stuckwish, he hasn't checked out on Samuel Lawson, and actually Samuel Lawson does have a great run here coming in to turns 3 and 4. As he is going to try to make that top line work while Ethan Stuckwish is just fishing at the bottom. Taking the road less traveled by, that's for sure. As these drivers are wanting to stay in the middle of that track. Some coming up, and that is going to be crazy. That is crazy carnage on the number 26 of Zach Weisenfla. Oh my goodness, that car went flying. As it looks like heading to the checkered flag, it is going to be Samuel Lawson, Ethan Stuckwish, and Danny Miles. Yes, just about did it. Ethan Stuckwish, Samuel Lawson, and Danny Miles are going to be your transfers for tonight's main event. As we take another look at that crash on Zach Weisenfla. Oh, we're not going to be able to see it, unfortunately. Unfortunately. That was something crazy. If you guys saw it, it was in the right side of your screen there. Zach Weisenfla took flight. As I'm getting new information in my headpiece, it is going to be top 5 is going to qualify from these consolations. So top 5 is what you need in order to transfer out into the feature. And we bring up our grid here for the first one. Logan Johnson is going to be in P12 with Joel Phillips in P11. Row number 5 is going to be Mason Cassidy, Kenneth Davis, the 3DR driver. Brandon Schatz in P8, representing Midwest Sim Sports, Casey Borgmeyer in P7. Justin Sick is going to be in your 6th place. Sick is 6th. Jason Wilson is going to be in P5. Row number 2 is going to be Will Bennett and Dees Price, with James Murphy claiming that silver spot, and your pole sitter for the consolation, Kane Williams, in that number 22 late model, representing Midwest Sim Sports. As we get a look at these drivers, the track starting to become caked with that dust. That dry and slick dirt going to make it tricky for some of these drivers. As Kane Williams will have the button, when will he start to go? When will he release the pack? As we go green, 12 laps, top 5 transfer. As we've already got carnage towards the back, you heard it through. And it was Kenneth Davis, I believe, is who it's crediting it for. Not entirely sure what happened, but he remains vigilant. As the clouds and fog start to roll into Charlotte, we have a yellow flag out. Looks like it's going to be Mason Cassidy who is credited with that crash. We'll have a look. We will have a look. As the number 55. Joel Phillips just gets all up in his grill. And he wanted to keep going. Mason Cassidy said, nah, we don't want the yellow. As he was ready to continue on. We'll have to see how that pans out for him. He has got a lot of track to make up now. I want to give a reminder to you guys that our sponsors like More Metalworks Welding and Fabrication, Willie T Performance, all those guys' logos will be flashing in the top right of the stream all night. It's never going away. So go ahead, check those guys out. You can find more information on them in the DRT Discord, which I will flash for you lovely ladies and gentlemen here now. There at the bottom, you can take a picture of it, screen cap it, whatever you need to do to join their Discord, learn up, catch up on all the lore, be a part of the community, and roll yourself into the Dirt Revival Tour Season 1. As we get set here to continue our first consi of the night. As here we go, James Murphy is going to bunch them up. And they are off and away for their second half of this consolation. Mason Cassidy looks like he's fighting his car after that yellow flag. And the 55 of Joel Phillips got into him. As that's Casey Borgmeyer trying to survive an onslaught from about 2 or 3 cars behind him. That's Brandon Schatz and Justin Sick trying to make moves on their Midwest Sim Sports teammate of Casey Borgmeyer. Kane Williams has gone purple tonight, as we are yellow again, unfortunately. As it looks like, speaking of Brandon Schatz and Casey Borgmeyer, they are being credited up here in the booth for that crash. We'll see how it happens. Oh, as the 117 of Dee's Price got in the wall, it kind of just started a domino effect. And yeah, the 34 of Brandon Schatz and the number 10 late model of Casey Borgmeyer are worse for wear. That is for sure. In that Duluth Trading Midwest Sim Sports number 34 of Brandon Schatz, he's going to pull it in. Don't know if he's going to get it repaired or just sit it out. I would assume he's going to come back out and try to make something happen, because if he doesn't get in here, he doesn't get in. As we are prepared to take the green here for what is hopefully the last time here at Charlotte for this first consolation. As here we go. James Murphy is going to be in front for now. As the, what is that, the 22? Yes, that is going to be the 22 of Will Bennett. He was getting into it with the 97 of Jason Wilson. They're going to throw it in deep. They're going to have an absolute battle as we go white flag racing. Kane Williams is actually going to cross the line and just barely beat out James Murphy. However, Logan Johnson found his way 9 spots up. He is going to be in P3. Will Bennett in P4. Mason Cassidy somehow, I don't exactly know how he did it, he ran the fastest lap of the race and got that last transfer spot into the feature. As we head into our last consolation of the night, we have got Kyle Davis starting in the back with Sean Arnold. Jason McManus, who was your pole sitter for that heat race number 3. Jason McManus is in P10. Brandon Jones, P9. Aaron Bowman, P8. Zach Gold, P7. Zach Weisenfla makes up the outside of row number 3. Inside him is going to be Brady Cornett. Pause. P4 is going to be K-Dub representing East Coast Sim Sports. P3 is going to be Jeffrey Hyatt. Dylan Domastro is going to be in your silver spot for this consolation. And your pole sitter for the last race before the main event, Tyler Bickford. As I'm sorry, guys, I had some personal things that I had to attend to the last few minutes or so. If that's why the stream or the commentary felt lacklustered, I apologize for that. Now, Tyler Bickford has the button, and his 07 super late model is going to lead the pack across the line. As we go for 12 laps here, that is going to be, I believe, K-Dub getting into the wall early in that turn 1 and 2. Zach Weisenfluh currently sitting with his life on the line as Brady Cornett is actually going to barely get past him. He's going to stick himself to the inside. Can he make the move stick? No, he cannot. Zach Weisenfluh gets the advantage heading into the next corner, as I'm sure these drivers are going to be battling corner after corner. Zach has the spot that Brady wants, that Brady needs, that Brady has to have to get into this feature here tonight, as they are almost 5 wide coming out of turn 4. Dylan Del Mastro sitting in the middle of it, trying to play defense as he gets tapped by Jeffrey Hyatt just a tad bit. Brady Cornett, I'm not sure what that move was. Looking like shades of USA International Speedway, where I believe it was Daryl Bass who just completely skipped the corner in 1 and 2. It's going to end up costing him in the long run, as Jeffrey Hyatt is currently sitting in your 4th spot. And actually, no, your 5th spot. So he is on the border. Looks like that might go to Tyler Bickford, who is slowing down dramatically here. Down into P6, and he is going to get turned around. That is going to be a caution. We saw it all unfold. Tyler Bickford was really slow heading around those last 2 corners. As we take a look here. Oh, yeah, that is the 20 of Sean Arnold. He is going to go flying into the 07 of Bickford. And if we go back, we should be able to see what exactly happened with Bickford there. Just going real slow, and the number 1 just fell into his lap. Obviously not intentional by either driver, but Tyler Bickford was going really, really slow around that corner. And so with 3 laps remaining here, once we take the green on lap 10, our leader is going to be what looks like K-Dub, Kevin Walker, in that number 24 super late model. We see him getting love in chat all the time, so here is your Kevin Walker screen time. K-Dub currently sits in the front. And that number 24 East Coast Sim Sports represent, as Kevin Walker looks to stick out. In the intro, you heard the phrase, the young guns are coming to shine. Kevin Walker is pretty much the owner of that title here at DRT. The kid leads us. As Kevin Walker is going to take the white flag one more time around this Charlotte Oval. There's carnage in the back. That looks like Zach Weisenfluh. He is going to have to fight. And out of the corner, he gets a great exit. And he transfers with Dylan Del Mastro. And your winner of the consolation, Kevin Walker. As the lights are now down, and we head into a warm-up here. I just want to go ahead and show you guys once again the championship standings for tonight. We have no Colton Jordan, so that puts him out. William Thayer is about 49 points off the championship. I don't think my math is completely wrong. I'm so sorry. William Thayer is about 100 points off. Hayden Tollison and Jesse Newsom are going to be your only two here competing for the championship tonight. William Thayer, that's just too high of a mountain to climb, as Jesse Newsom and Hayden Tollison are going to be your two battling for the championship here tonight. We'll make sure to take a look at them as we go throughout the night. Here is the schedule once again for the Dirt Revival Tour season number 1, starting on June 17th. Tuesdays at 8:30 EST, and it is not confirmed yet, but I'm really hoping, I really hope for you guys, and I hope because it's an honor to be able to do it, I hope that the broadcaster for this series will be me, will be right here on the Arsenal TV, YouTube, and Twitch page. Like I said, it is not confirmed yet, but I hope they do decide to go with me. Hope we can agree to some terms, and I hope we can get that deal done, because I have loved every second of broadcasting the Dirt Revival Tour. And with that, we'll step away for a second as I will take a break. Let you guys get all the sounds, all the action here of warm-up, and I will be right back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back on Arsenal TV. You are watching the championship round of the Dirt Revival Tour. Super late model mini series here. We are at Charlotte for this championship round. The warm-up is coming to an end, which can only mean one thing. It's time to go racing. And with that, it is time to pull up your grid for the race tonight. Guys, it's time to crown a champion. In P19 is going to be Jeffrey Hyatt. In P18 is going to be William Thayer. Sorry, Mason Cassidy. I lied completely. I'm so sorry. P17, Zach Gold. P16, Will Bennett. P15, Zach Weisenflaw. Logan Johnson in P14, Del Mastro, Murphy, K-Dub, and Williams get us to our top 10. P9 is going to be Danny Miles, with P8 being Carson Jenkins. P7, Daryl Bass. P6, Samuel Lawson. P5, Jesse Newsom. Nate Wimhoff in P4. Ethan Stuckwish in P3. Hayden Tullison, the Big H in P2. And your pole sitter for the race tonight in the 63 Super Late Model, William Thayer. As we get set for the race tonight, championship vibes in the building. It's Game 7. It's win or go home for Hayden Tullison. For Jesse Newsom, all he has to do is get past Tullison. Jesse Newsom has one mission tonight, and that is finish better than Tullison. Green flag is out. William Thayer has the button. The Willie T and Willie T performance, as him and Tullison are going to be side by side fighting in this opening lap. They're going to bunch up, and I believe that is Jesse Newsom. No, that is Ethan Stuckwish that causes that. As Jesse Newsom is currently in P2. Your two championship sitters, neck and neck to start this race. We go 75 times around the oval. As these two drivers have everything to gain, but also everything to lose. As for Jesse Newsom, he cannot make a mistake. He cannot afford a DNF. That will put Hayden Tullison in front surely. As for Jesse Newsom, I'm not entirely sure how the points would shake out, but finishing second right behind Hayden Tullison might be enough to keep him up. As Jesse Newsom thought about a move there into turn number 3, backed off of it. It felt a little shady. He decided not to go on it. It is going to be Midwest Sim Sports versus Coast to Coast Sim Sports here in your finale. As Carson Jenkins looking to throw his name into the hat. He's not in the championship running, but what would a win do for him and his confidence heading into the big season coming up in 2 weeks? Our pole sitter William Thayer is currently our biggest loser of the top 10. He is down 3 spots. As you know, he started on pole. I belched his name. And he is down in P4, but for the entire race, that would go to Nate Wimhoff, who is down 8 spots. He did start this race P4, is currently sitting in P12. As we flip the script, Will Bennett in that 22 black and gold late model. He is up 11 positions, started this race in P16, and he is currently in P5. As Carson Jenkins did actually get around the 11 of Jesse Newsome. That's not good. As Jesse Newsome now has a lot of ground to make up, he is about 1.3 seconds out from Hayden Tollison. With the likes of William Thayer and Will Bennett on his tail. Will this be the choke for Jesse Newsome? We've got a lot of racing, a lot of left turns to go. As Hayden Tollison, much like his Big H style of racing, is out in front by a considerable amount. Carson Jenkins doing his best to keep up. As we go ahead and pull up the last times for these guys on the scoring tower, you'll be able to see who's running faster than who on any given lap. As it looks like for now, Hayden Tollison is going to be a pretty fast driver, running a 14.8, with the likes of the mid-pack of the grid running a 14.95 in that area. So Will Bennett, after starting the race in P16, got all the way up to P5. He has kind of found his way into his hole. He has settled in, not making any progress on William T. Thayer, but that's going to be Carson Jenkins, who is around in turn number 1. I'm not sure what happened to the Mid-South driver there in that number 62. We'll have a look. As everything seems to be fine, and he just stops. He just holds the brake and stops. I'm not entirely sure what for. No hand signals, no firing errors, nothing out of that late model. It's still running perfectly fine. The tires look fine. He just completely stopped his car. As he is still sitting on the track, Carson Jenkins, they're trying to get that late model up and running. He is finally going to call it a night, take it out to the pits. As that was a very weird occurrence. It just locked up. He could not control it anymore, and he just sat himself on the inside of turn 1. So as we're yellow here, I want to go ahead and thank the sponsors again for their kind contributions, and sponsors for tonight's event and the entirety of the miniseries and season number 1 happening on June 17th. You'll see all the logos there in the top right. Coast to Coast Sim Sports, Elite Signs and Graphics out of Zanesville, Ohio. More Metalworks, Willie T Performance. And I always forget one, but I think I might have got them all that time. As we are green again, Hayden Tollison and Jesse Newsome will battle again. As I want to remind all you guys, I'm sorry to do this under green flag stipulations. Oh, as Jesse Newsome, that can wait a switchback on Hayden Tollison. And Jesse Newsome is out to the lead. And I want to remind everybody that tonight's stream and all future iRacing broadcasts on Arsenal TV will be live on YouTube and Twitch. So go ahead and subscribe to whatever platform you want, or both. Never miss any of the races casted here on Arsenal TV. As Jesse Newsome is not missing a corner right now, as he is running flat out and fast. Will Bennett continuing his good run up into P3. Kevin Walker, K-Dub, the winner of the last consolation, started P11. He is up to 4th, so that is Kevin Walker representing East Coast Sim Sports. As we go on board with Mason Cassidy here, he is in P8. Looking to make something happen in that sound-dampened number 17 as we have another yellow. This time it is going to credit Zach Weisenflow with the crash. So we'll see what happened aboard his number 24. He's taking the corner here, and it looks like there's some contact between, I believe that is Carson Jenkins. Again, Carson Jenkins. I'm not sure the other car that got involved. Obviously not a great situation for any of those drivers involved, as they will have to take it to the pits and see if their team can do something to get that race car back on the track. As it looks like the lights might be out in that iRacing Pace truck. I couldn't exactly tell. We might be going green this time by. If not, I'm sure it'll just be, nope, the Pace truck is coming in. So Jesse Newsome, two-time winner here. He is going to pull the card early. He is off and away to start lap number 28. As he is going to get out to a convincing opening lap lead on Hayden Tollison, but Hayden Tollison will not go away that easy. Repping that 327 super late model. That Midwest Sim Sport prodigal driver, the Big H, Hayden Tollison, as we have a little bit of wizardry going on there. Jesse Newsome in that pink and almost a neon green. Almost gives me like an old school double bubble vibe going on in that number 11 super late model. Amazing livery there for tonight's race, but that is going to be Hayden Tollison with a hell of a slider. Jesse Newsome going to try to switch it back. They're going to make contact. That is the number 11 and the 327. As the gloves might be coming off halfway through this feature. Jesse Newsome and Hayden Tollison. They went to war in that opening week in Lernerville. I'm sorry. Hayden Tollison, if you remember, caused the caution late in the race, had to take the EOL, and Jesse Newsome took advantage of that. Ended up winning the race and the one after that. They are side by side. Heading into turn number 1, Jesse Newsome has the advantage this time. But Hayden Tollison looking to bring it back as they go into turn 1 sliding. They have checked out from the rest of the field. K-Dub in that best of the rest spot in P3. Usually you would call P4 the best of the rest, but right now it is looking like a two-car race. Jesse Newsome and Hayden Tollefson battling right here in the DRT Championship of the mini series on Arsenal TV. As Jesse Newsome is starting to find a rhythm, lapping a consistent 10th faster than Hayden Tollefson. That is a 4/10 difference on that lap. As Hayden Tollefson seeming to be running out of steam just a little bit. Jesse Newsome, however, Hayden Tollefson just a little faster that lap, with the rest of the field running 10th off at least. These two are in a league of their own, but Jesse Newsome starting to show his signs of weakness, as that is 2 laps in a row Hayden Tollefson has lapped faster than him, cutting the gap down to just 0.7 of a second, and it is ever shrinking. As it is going to be a top-line dominant race here. From now for the foreseeable future, Jesse Newsome and Hayden Tollefson ripping that cushion. As Hayden Tollefson with a little bit of a hiccup heading into turn 1 there, that's going to cost him about a 0.5 as he is starting to fade back just a tiny bit, almost 0.2 slower that lap. As for Jesse Newsome, he is looking strong as he actually laps 0.2 slower than Hayden Tollefson. So they're swapping it around on who wants to be the faster car. As we go on board with Hayden Tollefson here, that gap looks a lot bigger up in the booth when you're watching it from up high. But out on the racetrack, Jesse Newsome seems to be just within an arm's reach of Hayden Tollefson there as we enter lap number 50 here next time by. The drivers have 26 laps to go. They've been 50. As William Thayer, who was our pole sitter for tonight's race, has dropped back to P5. He is managing to defend this position nicely as he has been here for a decent amount of time. Mason Cassidy, your big mover in the positive direction. He is up 12 spots into P6, battling with Ethan Stuckwish there for that position. Nate Wimhoff, who unfortunately just can't seem to string it together in these main events. He has no problem getting to the main event, but putting something together inside of the main event has been another challenge for him. He currently sits P11 after qualifying P4. Our potential driver of the day here in the DRT Championship round, Kevin Walker, K-Dub, sitting on that last podium spot in that number 24 East Coast Sim Sports late model. as Jesse Newsom is going to come around. It is a half-second lead on Hayden Tollison. We are yellow. And after just giving him praise, looks like it is going to be Will Bennett, who has crashed here. As we don't get to see a lot of it, we'll have to go back. We can get the guys in the truck to rewind that. Thank you. Coming around on the 90 of Daryl Bass, and he just loses it. Loses it on the straight. He's going to hit the wall. That's pieces of his front right quarter panel, pieces of his front bumper, all coming off on that number 22. That is not a good look. So the 22 of Will Bennett, unfortunately, has to send it in for some repairs, and it doesn't look like he's going to get back out. As we get ready to go green here again, just under 20 laps to go once we take the green. As Jesse Newsom looking to win the championship, the inaugural championship. A lot of people are going to put asterisks around this series. They're going to say it wasn't a real championship. They're going to say, oh, it doesn't matter. But this right here has been the highest form of dirt racing I've seen in a long time on the iRacing service. And will Jesse Newsom be crowned the legitimate and first DRT champion? Not if Hayden Tollison has anything to say about it. He's going to slide in. Jesse Newsom's going to return the favor. It's going to be a switchback. They're going to bunch the crowd up. Hayden Tollison, he's going to fling it in, almost hitting the infield tractor tire. As he doesn't give a single damn. That's going to cost him a little bit, though, as these drivers are hungry for that position. That is a 65 of James Murphy. It's going to be K-Dub as well. They're beating and banging. K-Dub comes out on top. Kevin Walker having the advantageous position. He is going to claim P2 for now. And Jesse Newsom, some might call him the ultimate opportunist, but it seems like there is another battle happening in his rear view that allows him to just check out. It's happened before, and it seems like it's happening again. Hayden Tollison all the way down into P5, but we are yellow. As it says, it's going to be William Thayer who crashed this time. We'll take a look at it. Oh, yeah, just driven into the wall there, coming out of turn number 4. And he's going to have to sit that late model on the bench for at least a little bit. Unfortunate stuff for Willie T, as he looked very strong earlier tonight heading into this, as he just couldn't move the car. They had to throw the yellow. So as it sits, Hayden Tollison is going to be your current P2 sitter. Or P5 sitter, actually, I think. As the timing tower loves these cautions. Loves jumbling up all my information that I have in front of me, because they are crediting Hayden Tollison with leading this race right now, but we know that is not the case. As it looks like we just need... There we go. Yeah, we just needed him to get past. So now the timing tower slowly updates. And it still is crediting Hayden Tollefson with the current lead. Pace truck is in. That is just strictly not true, as Jesse Newsome has the button. He is going to lead us down and away. As Hayden Tollefson is out. Hayden Tollefson is not appearing on my scoring sheet anymore. Hayden Tollefson has pulled his race car off this track. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we have just seen the moment. I believe it is all but done. As soon as Jesse Newsome, yes, that is going to be it. Ladies and gentlemen, assuming Jesse Newsome doesn't commit some unholy acts of terrorism in the dirt racing world and gets fined, suspended, expelled, exiled, he is your inaugural DRT champion. Jesse Newsome from Coast to Coast Sim Sports. Driving that number 11 double bubble super late model. As Ethan Stuckwish, he's probably getting the news in his earpiece right now. He wants that win. He's going for it. He doesn't care if he doesn't walk home with a trophy. He'll walk home a race winner in the Dirt Revival Tour. There's only 2 people in the world that can say that right now. So Ethan Stuckwish, as we go into 6 to go next time by, looking to make a name for himself, as James Murphy and Logan Johnson are going to be fighting for that last podium spot. Logan Johnson representing Speed Ranch E setups. James Murphy just representing the Great Carolina. I'm not entirely sure if that's north or south, but he's representing one of them. As K-Dub unfortunately falling back, he is in P7. Danny Miles getting past him with a nice opportunity there, as he is going to almost use Daryl Bass as a wall to get around him. That is going to be Danny Miles into P6. Daryl Bass is going to return the favor on him. Not going to be able to make that stick, as Danny Miles is going to... Danny Miles is going to hit a switchback on him. That's going to be P6 done and dusted for him. Mason Cassidy in the tail end of a big fight here with Logan Johnson, James Murphy, Ethan Stuckwish, and your leader, Jesse Newsome. As Jesse Newsome might be getting a little complacent here. We are 2 to go. It's going to come down to the wire. They are 3 wide for P2. Ethan Stuckwish is going to come out on top of that endeavor, as Jesse Newsome is going to be your first car to take the white flag one more time around Charlotte. One more time for Jesse Newsome to etch his name in the history books as your inaugural Dirt Revival Tour World Champion. Jesse Newsome has won 3 of the 4 races here in the mini-series. What an outstanding performance from all these drivers. What an outstanding performance from Hayden Tollefson. And what an outstanding performance to your race winner and champion, Jesse Newsome. Ethan Stuckwish coming home P2. James Murphy coming home P3. Very, very, very good race out of everybody here tonight, as we will get these drivers into the waiting room for their interview. As I'm going to need James Murphy to be on deck in the waiting room. He will be who we talk to first. I'll pull up the results for you guys. In the meantime, that is heat race number 1. Let's get your feature results here. As we bring James Murphy into the booth. James, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
James, it was an incredible race out there, and one of almost just constant warfare between you and some other drivers there in that, P3 to P10 range. How did it feel having such a long battle with those guys?
It always feels good when you can race clean and hard. It was a bunch of sliders, but for the most part, it was all clean. So you have to be happy. Most of the time when I race in dirt, it's just not fun, but this was a really fun race.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It looked very, very fun out there for you guys. And finishing third here in the last event before the big season starts in 2 weeks, does that give you any sort of confidence heading into that big season if you planned on running it? And will that help your mental gearing up for that long season?
And it's got the confidence pretty good. I'm not quite sure if we're going to run it or not, but if we do, I think we'll be all right. We've been fast all season, just have some bad luck,
Yeah, that I agree with. You have been exceptionally quick every single week in and week out. But you got it done on the last night of the season. You drove it to a P3. You've got the floor, man. Who do you want to thank for tonight's performance?
Thank you for broadcasting it, and just everybody puts this league on, and everybody puts the speed.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the love from you, Mr. Murphy. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your night. Ladies and gentlemen, your P3 finisher, James Murphy. And now bringing in our second place finisher here tonight, Ethan Stuckwish. Ethan, Mac up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Now, that was something almost dreams are made of. Everyone kind of knew once Hayden Tullison pulled off that it was Jesse Newsom's championship to win. Did you want to nab that last little race win from him, or was it always the plan to let him go through?
I wouldn't say that was the plan. I tried it. I found the bottom there with a good 15 to go and was rolling it. And, if I really wanted to, I could have got aggressive, but with him being a teammate and I missed a couple races, he had a lot more at stake than I did, and I didn't want to do anything that was going to ruin his chances at it.
Yeah, for sure. It was something we were keeping track of all night. And so with a P2 finish here tonight at Charlotte, does that give you any sort of confidence going into next season and, where you stand amongst these other drivers?
Yeah, definitely. I'll tell you what, I've had the last couple weeks, it's with officials, it's been a down week, and, all the C2C guys have been helping me with, just figuring out, I've never really driven supers much throughout my time on iRacing. I've always been pros and UMPs, and, they really kind of took me under their wing and tell me how to make adjustments that fit my driving style and just all around how to drive these, how to save tires.
Yeah. Obviously it seems like a great community, a great team to be a part of. And, speaking on that, I'm going to give you the floor now. You shout out whoever you want. Who do you want to thank for tonight's performance?
Yeah, obviously, big shout out goes out to all the coast to coast guys, Danny, Tyler, Byram, they took a chance on me, and, I can never repay them for what they've done. Blake, Evan, all the guys over at M.2, they built some pretty good setups. And lastly, you for putting on a pretty good broadcast.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that a lot. And I'm going to let you enjoy your night. I'm sure the Coast to Coast guys have something planned, surely, for the championship winner. And, Ethan, I appreciate you. And it was a pleasure seeing you drive.
Yep.
And ladies and gentlemen, he won 3 times. And tonight was good enough to seal his fate as your inaugural DRT champion, Jesse Newsom. Welcome to the booth.
What's up?
It almost feels like a recurring conversation that I have every Tuesday night because it seems like I'm always having it with you. This makes your 3rd win out of 4 races here in the mini series format. How did tonight feel?
It definitely felt great. I put myself up front in qualifying. Not as far up as I'd like, and I could have done better in the heat. Same thing early on in the feature. I just had no drive through 3 and 4. That they were just killing me out of the corner. So nothing I could do about that. And then I got into Jason McManus there. I think it was a little bit of net code, but anyway, we started the feature, and I knew it was 75 laps, a little longer than all the other ones that we ran, and knew I had to keep the tires on it for as long as I could, especially if I wanted to beat Hayden at the end. But then I had a chance to get in front of Hayden, and I just went ahead and took it and got a pretty decent lead and just started managing my stuff from there on out. And I saw Hayden, he was trying to use his stuff up a little bit to catch back up to me, and I guess me and him had the same game plan or something. And I'm not really sure what happened to him. He disconnected at one point from the race. But I'm pretty sure he was angry at one of those sliders that I threw on him. But, I mean, I lifted for all of his sliders, and then as soon as I went in to throw mine, he bumpered me twice, so I don't really know what he was doing there, and lifted me up down the whole backstretch. So if he's mad about it, he can talk to me, I guess. But it felt good. Won the race. Excited for next season and the money. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so a little bit of chirping going on there. Is that something that you're gonna use as drive heading into the next season? Is it something that you're gonna, almost want to use as a little bit of a mental head start?
I mean, everybody says you don't make friends on the track, but you also don't want to make enemies. So not really sure how that'll head into the money season. I'm sure it'll come into play at some point, but at the same time, we were racing for the same win. I'm pretty sure if he had won the race and I finished second, he would have won the championship. So I'm sure he can understand why I was racing him that hard. But I mean, still, I don't feel like my slider was dirty at all. Like, I cleared him and he drove into the back of me both times. So I'll have to watch the replay back and so I can be 100% sure about it. But I mean, it's just racing in my eyes.
Yes, sir. It is just racing, and good racing at that. It was an honor. It was an honor to watch you work. It was an honor to watch all these drivers work all season. But Jesse, the floor is yours, man. Who would you like to thank for the championship, for the race, and for everything?
First off, I want to thank you for streaming all the races. You did a great job. And I want to thank all the people at Coast to Coast. They helped me the most out of everybody, and everybody at CFM that makes the setups. I want to thank my brother Ronnie. He was watching, his friend Daniel. I want to thank Danny, Byram, Bickford, and Ethan. He's my teammate. He finished second, so he did a good job too. I don't know where Mason ended up. I think he was somewhere up front, but just want to thank those guys for helping.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it was a pleasure to watch you, work all season, all the 4-week season. It was a short one, but you made it count, and thank you for the support on the stream. That means a lot to me. Pop the champagne. I'm going to let you celebrate your championship and race winner here in the DRT mini series, Jesse Newsom.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, wow. After 4 races, a champion has been crowned here in the Dirt Revival Tour mini series. I'll flash up this flyer one more time for you guys. Just so you know all the info, all the sponsors there. Appreciate you guys for making this as amazing as it could be. As I think I hear a late model going off in the background. Not entirely sure. It might be Jesse Newsom. But yeah, guys, Tuesdays, 8:30 EST. You can join the Discord for all information regarding all of these sponsors or anything you want to know about the league, about the community, about the season coming up. And like I said, it is not official, so I cannot say it. But hopefully, fingers crossed, right here on Arsenal TV is where you will be catching all the Dirt Revival Tour action. So from everybody at Midwest Sim Sports, everybody at the Dirt Revival Tour, and at me, myself, and I here at Arsenal TV. I want to thank you guys for coming out, enjoying the broadcast. I appreciate all the support that has been left in the analytics, in the comment sections, in the chat, in the DMs. You guys have made me feel extremely welcome here in the DRT, and this is my first series, my first full series that I ever casted by myself, working the camera, working the post-production, working the commentary as well. I'm doing it all myself. So it was a bumpy ride, and we've got some things to improve on, but I really appreciate you guys for stopping by, showing your support, and hopefully I gave you the best broadcast in the game, because that's what we're going to be one day. We're going to be in the Hall of Fame. We're going to be one of the greatest to bring you some great racing, and that's where it all starts, is on the racetrack with these drivers. They are the top tier. They are the upper echelon. They are the pinnacle of iRacing Dirt Oval. I appreciate all you guys for coming out. I appreciate all you guys for showing your support. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next journey.